I never imagined coming home and finding my life ripped apart. The door was unlocked, and I froze for a second, thinking maybe Emily was just in the kitchen. But the silence hit me like a punch. Emily! My voice sounded small in the empty apartment. No answer. On the counter, I saw it, a folded note in her handwriting. My hands trembled as I picked it up. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I've gone back to Mark. The kids are with him. I hope you understand. I dropped the note. My chest tightened. I read it again, hoping my brain was lying. No, this can't be real. I sank onto the couch, staring at the blank wall. My phone buzzed. It was Alex. I almost didn't answer, but I needed someone. Hey man, what's wrong? He asked, his voice cheerful. I don't know where to start. I choked. Talk to me, he said. What happened? I held the note out. Emily, she left me. For Mark. And the kids. She just left. My voice cracked. Alex was quiet for a beat. Wait, what? She left? Are you serious? I'm serious, Alex. I came home early, and she's gone. Just like that. My hand shook. I wanted to throw something, to scream, but nothing came out. Damn, man. I'm so sorry, he said. Do you want me to come over? I swallowed hard. Yeah, please. I can't sit here alone. When Alex arrived, he gave me a long, wordless hug. I don't know what to say, man. I trusted her, I whispered. I thought we were happy. People change, Alex said gently. Sometimes not in ways we can control. No, I snapped, more to myself than him. I can't believe she'd do this to me, to us. And Mark, that bastard, he's back in her life, and my hands fisted the couch. Alex stayed quiet, letting me vent. I keep thinking about all those nights, planning our future, buying the house. I trusted her. I trusted her with everything. You can't blame yourself, Alex said. You didn't do anything wrong. I know, but it still hurts. God, it hurts so much, I admitted. I close my eyes and remember our last argument, a silly fight over nothing. How could that be the end of everything? Do you want to talk about Mark? Alex asked cautiously. I laughed bitterly. Talk about him? I barely know the guy. I just know he's the reason she's gone. And the worst part? She left the kids with him. Hey, I know it feels like the end of the world, Alex said, but you'll get through this. I promise. I shook my head. Promise? I don't even know if I can. Alex leaned back and looked at me, eyes steady. You can. You're stronger than you think. But first, you need to let yourself feel it. Anger, hurt, betrayal, let it all out. I sank deeper into the couch, gripping the note again. I can't believe this is happening. I trusted her more than anyone. And she just left. Alex didn't respond, just nodded, letting me spiral, letting me scream into the silence of the apartment. And I did. I screamed until my throat ached, until the tears burned my eyes. When I finally calmed down, I whispered to the empty room, I'll never forgive her. Not yet. But I'll be ready for whatever comes next. And in that quiet, broken apartment, I knew my life had changed forever. Emily, Mark, and the kids were gone from my life, and a part of me wondered if I'd ever get it back. It's been months since Emily left, but some mornings, it still feels like she's just around the corner. I wake up, expecting her to be in the kitchen making coffee, and then the emptiness hits me. Hey, Alex, I muttered into the phone one evening. I don't even know if I'm getting better or just existing. You're surviving, Alex said. That's the first step. You're not buried in it anymore, are you? I snorted bitterly. Surviving? Maybe. But some days I still feel like my chest is a heavy block of stone. Like she took all the air with her. That's normal, Alex replied. But you can't stay there forever. Work, gym, even small routines, they help. You need to focus on yourself, man. I tried, I said. I started a new job last week. But every time I walk into the office, I can't stop thinking, is she laughing with him? Are the kids smiling at him now? My voice cracked. Stop torturing yourself, Alex said firmly. You're doing better than you think. And honestly, do you really want to waste your energy on them? I don't know, I admitted. I trusted her, Alex. I thought we had forever. And now, I stopped, choked on the word. Don't. Just don't, Alex said softly. Focus on what you can control. I sighed. Control. I don't even know where to start. Start with work, he suggested. Get lost in projects and deadlines. Show yourself you're not broken. You're still you, man. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I guess. I can try. Today was okay. I managed a meeting without thinking about her for 5 whole minutes. That's progress, Alex said. Tiny steps, but they matter. I leaned back in my chair, letting my thoughts drift. I remember the small signs I missed, the way Emily frowned when I talked about my promotion, the way she avoided certain conversations, the distant tone in her voice. I didn't see it coming. I whispered. I didn't see any of it. Alex didn't answer right away. Hindsight's cruel, man, but you can't live there. You can only move forward. I saw her on social media today. I blurted. My stomach turned. She's smiling, happy. Mark's in the picture. They're perfect, or as perfect as they want the world to see. Don't compare yourself to their highlight reel, Alex said sharply. You're not living in their photos. You're living your life. And trust me, you're capable of more than pining for them. I can't help it, I said, feeling my hands clench into fists. Every time I see her laughing, I feel cheated, angry. I gave everything and I stopped. I couldn't finish the thought. I know, man. I know, Alex said. But anger won't help. Focus it on yourself. Get strong, mentally and physically. Build your life without them in it. That's the revenge that really matters. I suppose, I muttered, staring at my empty apartment. Some days I think I'll never get over it. Other days, maybe I can. Maybe I'll be stronger than before. But every time I see her smiling somewhere, it eats at me. Good, Alex said. Let it fuel you. Let it push you to rebuild. And remember, you're not alone. Call me anytime, day or night. I'll remind you who you are. I managed a small, bitter smile. Thanks, Alex. I don't deserve your patience sometimes. You do, he said. You deserve better than what she gave you. And someday, you'll see it clearly. I hung up the phone and sat in silence. For the first time in months, I felt a flicker of determination beneath the heartbreak. Maybe Alex was right. Maybe I could pick up the pieces and start building a life that didn't revolve around Emily or Mark. I sat at my desk, staring at the screen, trying to convince myself that I was fine. Hey, Alex, I muttered into the phone. I think work is helping. I can focus mostly. Mostly, he teased. That's not fully, man. Details, I said. I'm getting there. Slowly. You sure? I shrugged, even though he couldn't see me. Yeah, I met someone at the office. Sarah. She's nice. Pays attention when I talk. Not in a weird way, just human. Sounds promising. I laughed bitterly. I don't know if I'm ready for promising. I still feel raw. You can't heal without letting someone in, you know? I know, I said, but I didn't believe it. Every time she smiles at me, I feel this panic. Like if I let myself care, I'll just break again. Alex was quiet. So, you're protecting yourself? Exactly, I admitted. I can't risk it. Not after Emily. Fair enough, he said. But don't shut out everyone. Some people, they're worth a risk. I frowned, thinking about Sarah. She's different. She asks questions I don't usually answer. She notices when I'm distant. Sounds like she sees the real you, Alex said. Not just the walls you put up. Yeah, I trailed off. I remember the nights with Emily, the small warnings I ignored. Sarah doesn't push, she just waits. Patient. Caring. It's unsettling in a good way. Are you thinking about her too much? Alex asked. I'm thinking about everything, I said. And then I heard something that made my chest tighten. What? Mark, I muttered. I saw his name in a trade report. He's climbing fast in our industry. Big promotion, new office, all of it. And I can't stop thinking, what if I run into him? Whoa, hold up. The same Mark? I nodded, staring at the screen. The one Emily left me for. He's successful now. And I don't know if I want to see him or if I want to watch him fail. Sounds like you're already plotting revenge in your head, Alex teased. I groaned. Maybe. Or maybe I just feel unsettled. Like our worlds are colliding. And I don't like it. Don't let it consume you, Alex said. Focus on your life. You're the one rebuilding, remember? I know, I said, rubbing my temples. But seeing his name, seeing his face in photos, it brings back everything. The betrayal, the lies, the nights I spent wondering where I went wrong. You didn't go wrong, Alex said firmly. She made her choice. Mark made his. You're just living your life. I keep telling myself that, I said. But the envy, The anger, it's like a fire I can't put out. And yet, I want to be better, stronger, not just angry, not just hurt. Then do it, Alex said. Turn that fire into fuel. Work harder. Be smarter. Make your life yours again. Forget them, except to remind yourself what you're capable of. I nodded slowly. Maybe you're right. I'll try. Focus on work, focus on myself, and Sarah. But I can't lie. Every time I hear about Mark, I feel the old pain bubbling up. Good, Alex said. Use it. Don't let it control you. Let it push you. You'll see the difference soon. I hope so, I whispered. I looked at Sarah, who was smiling across the office, handing a report to a colleague. I felt a strange mix of admiration and fear. She doesn't know about Emily, about Mark. I'm not ready to tell her. But maybe I can learn to care again. I never thought my career would circle back to him. Congratulations on the promotion, my manager said. I nodded, smiling politely, but inside my stomach churned. When I looked at the team roster, my heart skipped. Mark, he was on my team. I kept my expression neutral as I walked into the meeting room. Morning, everyone, I said, voice steady. Morning, boss. Mark said, his smirk subtle but noticeable. I froze for a second. Smirk. That same arrogant smirk I'd seen years ago. Mark, I said, forcing professionalism. I'll be overseeing your projects moving forward. Ah, I see, he replied, leaning back. So, you're in charge now. Interesting turn of events. Interesting for you, perhaps, I said carefully, letting a hint of steel creep into my voice. Don't worry, he said casually. I always deliver results. You won't regret it. I smiled tightly. I'm sure you do most of the time. As the meeting went on, he tried to assert himself, throwing suggestions and corrections at others. I noticed the subtle undermining, the little digs meant to test me. I felt a flicker of rage. Mark, I appreciate your input, I said calmly, but let's stick to the agreed agenda. We'll review alternative suggestions after the meeting. Of course, he said, hiding his annoyance, whatever you say. Inside, I was shaking. Memories flashed. Emily leaving, the note, the betrayal, and the nights I cried alone. He thinks he's untouchable, I muttered under my breath. Alex's voice echoed in my mind. Use it. Don't let it control you. Let it push you. I had a choice. Lash out and reveal all the resentment bottled up for years, or play it cool, plan carefully. I chose the latter. Good, I said, keeping my voice calm. Let's move on to the next item. Throughout the day, I noticed his little stunts, taking credit for others' work, subtle arrogance, and a smug attitude whenever I walked by. Each act fueled a quiet, methodical anger inside me. During lunch, Sarah noticed my tension. You okay? She asked softly. I'm fine, I said, though my jaw tightened. Just old ghosts resurfacing. You mean him? She asked, nodding toward Mark. I didn't answer at first, watching him laugh with a coworker. That laugh, that same careless, superior laugh. I felt my chest tighten. Yes, I admitted finally. It's complicated. Just don't let it consume you, she said. You're smarter than he is. I appreciated her words. Maybe she didn't know the full story, but she understood enough to see my focus waver. Back in the office, Mark approached. Hey, if you ever need advice, he said smoothly, I'm here. I know this company. I know people. I met his gaze evenly. I appreciate it, I said, voice level. I'll keep that in mind. He nodded, smiling, unaware of the storm brewing beneath my calm exterior. Later, I sat alone, thinking. I could expose him, embarrass him, make him pay for every second he made me feel worthless. But the thought didn't feel satisfying. I realized that real power wasn't about revenge in the open. It was about control, patience, and letting karma unfold naturally. I leaned back, letting the anger simmer into resolve. I'm no longer the man who trusted blindly. I'm in charge now, and I will make sure every move he makes is under my watchful eye. The rest of the day passed in a blur of emails, reports, and careful observation. I caught him glancing at me several times, doubt creeping into his confident facade. A small thrill ran through me. Power is quiet, I whispered to myself. It doesn't scream, it waits. And when the time comes, it strikes where it hurts most. For the first time since Emily left, I felt a flicker of satisfaction. This wasn't just work anymore. It was the beginning of a game I intended to win, a slow, deliberate plan that Mark would never see coming. I sat at my desk, scrolling through project requests, and paused when I saw Mark's name pop up. Another high-priority task with impossible deadlines. I smirked quietly. "Let's see how confident you really are," I muttered to myself. He walked in, looking pleased. "Got a minute?" he asked. "Of course," I said, gesturing to the chair across from me. "I reviewed the Q2 projections," he said, leaning over the desk. "I think we should adjust the marketing." "Mark," I interrupted gently, "I've noticed your projections tend to overestimate revenue by about 15%. Let's tighten the numbers. I want accurate forecasts. Board won't accept mistakes." He blinked. "Sure, I can adjust that." "Good. And I'd like a full report on cross-department dependencies by tomorrow." "Tomorrow? That's ambitious," he muttered, trying to hide a frown. "I like ambitious," I said. "It keeps everyone sharp." He left, and I leaned back, letting a small satisfaction settle. Watching him scramble was intoxicating in a quiet way. During the afternoon meeting, the board members scrutinized his latest updates. "Mark, these figures don't align with projections from last quarter," one said. I'll revise them immediately," he stammered. I remained silent, watching, letting him face the pressure. Each correction, each small mistake, tightened the tension around him. I felt a pang of, not pleasure exactly, but justice. After the meeting, my phone buzzed. "Emily." My stomach dropped. "Hey, I've been thinking about us. About the old times. Do you ever miss them?" I stared at the screen, my fingers frozen. Anger, longing, betrayal, all collided inside me. I typed quickly, then deleted it. "Why now?" I muttered. "Idealid Alex." "She messaged me," I said, pacing. "Messaged you? After all this time?" "Yes. Talking about the old times." "Don't respond," he warned. "You've worked too hard to let her drag you back." "I know, but part of me wants to reply," I admitted, even just to hear her voice, even to feel normal again. "Dangerous," he said. "Don't do it." I sighed, locking the phone. "You're right. I can't. Not yet." Later, Sarah stopped by my office. "You seem tense," she said. "I am," I admitted. "Mark, he's testing the limits. And Emily, well, she thinks she can just waltz back in." "You can't let either control you," she said firmly. "You're smarter than that. Don't get entangled." "I know," I said, looking down. "But every part of me wants to confront them both. I feel this pull like I'm still tied to their games." "Then untie yourself," she said. "Use your power wisely. Don't let them make you react. Let them reveal themselves while you stay above it." I nodded slowly, appreciating her perspective. Her voice was calm, measured, unlike the chaos in my head. "You're right," I whispered. "I need patience, observation, strategy." Back at my desk, I reviewed Mark's progress. His arrogance was fading, replaced with stress, anxiety, and subtle mistakes. I carefully nudged his responsibilities into areas where he'd stumble, all while keeping the appearance of support. A notification popped up, another message from Emily. I ignored it. My pulse quickened, but I forced my focus back to work. I would not give her that power. I leaned back, reflecting. This is bigger than revenge. It's about justice, karma, balance. He underestimated me. She underestimated me. But I won't. Mark returned to the office, checking his emails nervously. He looked at me, eyes wary, and muttered, "I'll get these reports done." "I'm confident you will," I said, keeping my tone neutral, almost encouraging. Inside, I felt a rush. I had the control now, the upper hand. But I also knew this game was delicate. One misstep, one emotional slip, and I could lose the advantage I'd fought to gain. I whispered to myself, a quiet vow. I'll win this, and they won't even see it coming. The tension in the meeting room was almost unbearable. I looked at Mark across the table, pretending to review the agenda, while every instinct in me screamed. He knew. He knew I was pushing him into mistakes. "Your latest report has discrepancies," I said casually, flipping through the pages. Discrepancias. His eyes narrowed. I double-checked everything. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. I echoed, keeping my tone polite. I'd call it a lack of alignment with company standards. The board expects precision, Mark. He smirked, but it didn't reach his eyes. So, you're saying I'm not precise enough? I'm saying we all need to follow the same rules, I said, leaning back slightly. It's not personal. Funny, he muttered. It feels personal when every project I touch becomes scrutinized. Perception is tricky, I said evenly. But perhaps it's just accountability catching up with us. He glanced at the other team members, trying to gauge support. Nobody spoke. Good. I let him stew in silence for a moment. I don't understand why this is happening now, he said finally. I've always delivered results. You know that. And you will continue to deliver results, I said smoothly, as long as the standards are met. Nothing more, nothing less. He leaned forward, voice low. You're targeting me. I can feel it. Targeting? I assure you. Mark, my only target is efficiency and success. If that coincides with your mistakes, well, that's coincidence. He froze, a flicker of panic in his eyes. Yes, I thought, savoring it quietly. Feel that tension. It's your own doing. The meeting ended, and I watched him leave, shoulders tight, jaw clenched. I felt a quiet triumph, but also a gnawing, unresolved resentment. Years of betrayal aren't erased by professional advantage alone. Later, the office door opened. Emily, standing there, smiling, but with a hesitation in her posture that I remembered too well. Hi, she said softly. I wanted to see you. I gritted my teeth. Emily, what do you want? I've been thinking about us. About the past. I know it was complicated, but I miss the old times. I laughed bitterly. Miss the old times? You left me for him. You left the kids with him. And now you come back smiling, like none of it matters. I didn't know how to say it, she whispered. I was lost. I made mistakes. Mistakes? I repeated, voice rising. You call betraying me mistakes? You call leaving us mistakes. She flinched. I never stopped caring. I didn't know how to handle my feelings. Handle your feelings? I said, pacing. You abandoned everything we had, and now you think a smile fixes it. Emily's eyes glistened. I just wanted a chance to explain, to maybe start over. I shook my head, furious but controlled. Start over? You don't get to start over with me. You had your chance, and now you watch me. Your betrayal, your decisions, they won't define me anymore. She stepped back, biting her lip. I just thought. Don't, I said sharply. Just leave. After she left, I sank into my chair, breathing heavily. My thoughts drifted back to Mark, to the subtle smile he wore, unaware of how carefully I was orchestrating his fall. I felt the dual pressure of professional strategy and personal wounds, a mix of control and heartbreak. Alex's words echoed in my head. Stay above it, but never forget the lessons. I rubbed my temples. I won't forget, I whispered. Not Mark, not Emily, not the past. But I control the present now. And that makes all the difference. I watched the board meeting unfold from my seat, sipping coffee and pretending casual interest. Mark sat across the table, his confident posture slipping, hands fidgeting with his pen. Mark, your project missed the deadline by 3 days, one board member said sharply. The client is frustrated. What happened? I miscalculated the timeline, he stammered. We faced some unexpected obstacles. Obstacles? Another member said, raising an eyebrow. This was your responsibility. Why weren't these risks addressed? I stayed silent, letting him twist in the scrutiny. His face flushed, and he glanced at me. That's when the subtle satisfaction hit. Karma, I thought. Slowly, deliberately, it was unfolding. I'll fix it immediately, he said finally, trying to regain composure. I expect a full plan by tomorrow, the first board member said firmly. And we'll be monitoring progress closely. Yes, of course, Mark muttered, head lowered. After the meeting, I caught him in the hallway. Rough day, I asked, voice casual. He scowled. You're behind this, aren't you? Behind what? I asked innocently. I'm just doing my job. Don't lie to me, he said, voice low. Every task, every deadline, you set them up to fail. I set deadlines based on company standards, I said calmly. If reality happens to clash, that's coincidence. Coincidence. His voice rose. You've been watching me for months, planning every step. I held his gaze. If watching someone do their job makes you feel targeted, maybe it's time to improve your approach. He stepped back, breathing heavily, and I let him go, savoring the tremor in his arrogance. Later, my phone buzzed. Emily. I froze. I saw what happened today. Mark? He's falling apart. Are you happy? I typed, then deleted the message. My hand shook. I shouldn't answer. I couldn't. She called. I let it ring once, twice, then answered. Emily. Hi, she whispered. I saw the news about Mark. Are you okay? Okay. I repeated. You mean, are you okay? Were you checking if I'm happy? I wanted to see you, she said softly. I'm not the person I used to be, I said firmly. I won't let you manipulate me again. You changed, she murmured. You're stronger. I see it now. Yes, stronger. Not blind, not hurt, not foolish, I said. I won't give you that power anymore. She hesitated. I just thought we could maybe talk. About us. About before. Before is gone, I said, voice steady. You made your choices, and I'm making mine. After I hung up, I felt a strange mixture of guilt and relief. She tried to pull me back emotionally, but I resisted. Mark appeared in my office later, furious. You can't do this to me, he shouted, slamming his fist on the desk. I'm not doing anything, I said calmly. You're unraveling on your own. Every mistake, every slip, it's all natural consequences. You set me up, he yelled. Your arrogance set you up, I replied evenly. I just let it happen. He stormed out, leaving the office silent except for my own breathing. I felt the satisfaction of watching karma unfold, tempered by the lingering guilt of pushing him so deliberately. Alex's words echoed in my head. Justice isn't revenge. It's letting people face their choices while you grow. I leaned back, reflecting on the transformation inside me. I had learned patience, control, and self-respect. I wasn't defined by Emily's betrayal or Mark's arrogance anymore. I was building something stronger, a version of myself that could survive heartbreak, watch injustice unfold, and remain unbroken. For the first time in years, I smiled quietly. Karma had its course, but I had mine too. I hadn't expected Emily to reach out again, but there she was, standing in my office door with a forced smile. Emily, I said, voice flat, what brings you here? She hesitated, glancing at Mark, who lingered near the hallway. I need to explain, she said softly. Explain, I repeated. After everything, you want to explain? Yes, she said, fidgeting. I wasn't in the right place when I left. I needed stability. I needed support. And Mark, he offered that. You used him, I interrupted. And you used me. I didn't know how else to survive, she said, voice trembling. I was struggling financially, emotionally. I thought going back to him was the only way. I never wanted to hurt you. I laughed bitterly. Never wanted to hurt me? You left me, left our home, left everything we built, and now you expect sympathy. I needed someone, she whispered, tears forming. Mark was there. I made a mistake. I was weak. You call betraying me weakness? I asked sharply. You weren't weak. You were selfish. You wanted comfort at the cost of my trust. And the kids, did you ever think about them? She flinched. I thought I was doing what was best. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misjudged everything. I shook my head. You misjudged loyalty. You misjudged love. You misjudged me. Mark's voice cut in from the hallway. Enough, Emily. This isn't helping anyone. And you, he said, glaring at me. You think you're untouchable? Don't think I won't fight back. I'm not fighting, I said calmly. I'm watching. Your arrogance is your undoing. He stepped closer, voice rising. You're manipulating me. You set me up for every failure. Stop, I said firmly, keeping my tone steady. I'm not manipulating. I'm letting consequences play out naturally. You created your own downfall, Mark. Every poor decision, every slip. This is what happens when pride blinds judgment. He froze, anger and humiliation mixing on his face. Emily looked at him, uncertain, while I remained seated, calm, controlled. You don't understand, Mark muttered. You think this is over? I'll prove. Prove what? I asked softly. That arrogance and entitlement still work? You've lost your credibility. You've lost your control. And nothing you do now changes that. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I didn't mean to. Save it, I said. I've learned something from all of this. Revenge isn't satisfying. Power isn't satisfying. The only thing that matters is self-respect. That's what you both lacked. And that's what I've found. She swallowed hard, nodding, realizing the truth. I see that now. I was wrong. I forgive you, I said quietly, more to release my own anger than for her benefit. Not for you, but for me, so I don't carry your mistakes any longer. Mark's shoulders slumped. He looked defeated, vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. You're stronger than I thought, he muttered. I had to be, I said simply, because I refused to let anyone else define my worth. And neither of you can take that from me again. Emily stepped back, trembling, while Mark turned and left, humiliated but alive. I felt a strange mix of pity and lingering anger. They had both shown their true colors. I leaned back, exhaling. This is what growth feels like, I thought. Not revenge, not triumph over others, but the quiet, unshakable power of moving forward. For the first time in years, I felt free. I watched from my office as Mark packed up his belongings. The smirk that once filled his face was gone, replaced by tight lips and avoidance. I can't believe this, he muttered, barely looking at me. Believe it, I said calmly. Your actions have consequences. The board made the decision. It's not personal. It's accountability. He glared, voice low. You pushed them. You set this in motion. I guided reality, I said evenly. You created the circumstances. You just didn't see them until it was too late. Emily appeared in the hallway, clutching her bag. Her face looked strained, tired. I didn't expect this, she whispered, glancing at Mark and then at me. I'm not surprised, I said quietly. You made choices, Emily. Choices have consequences. I know, she admitted. I thought I could get away with it. I didn't realize how much I'd lose. And yet, I said softly, here we are. You lost comfort, stability, respect. And Mark, he lost control, pride, credibility. But I gained something else. Her eyes filled with tears. I never wanted to hurt you this much, she said. I know, I said, leaning back in my chair. But it's not about revenge. It's about growth. It's about learning to stand on your own, not relying on others to validate you. Emily swallowed, nodding. I see that now. I felt a weight lift from my chest. Years of betrayal, humiliation, and anger didn't vanish overnight, but I could finally breathe without them holding me down. Sarah appeared at my door, holding 2 cups of coffee. You look lighter today, she said, smiling. Maybe I am, I said, accepting a cup. The past doesn't control me anymore. I realized what really matters. Strength, self-respect, and peace. That's good, she said softly, leaning against the doorframe. I've seen you work through a lot. You're different now. I admitted. And not just at work. I'm learning to live without bitterness. To forgive, not for them, but for me. She smiled, brushing her hair behind her ear. That's beautiful. And I'm glad I get to see this side of you. I laughed lightly, feeling warmth in a way I hadn't in years. You've seen the real me. The one who's been quiet, cautious, wounded. And now, maybe the one who can be happy again. She stepped closer, handing me the coffee. I'd like to be part of that happiness, she said, voice gentle but steady. I like that too, I said, meeting her gaze. Slowly, carefully, but genuinely. We stood there in silence, the office buzzing quietly around us. I realized I wasn't defined by Emily's betrayal, by Mark's arrogance, or by any past heartbreak. I was defined by how I chose to respond. Later, I overheard coworkers whispering near the elevators about Mark's demotion. I can't believe he lost everything, one said. And Emily, she looks broken too. I smiled faintly. Let them talk, I muttered under my breath. It doesn't matter anymore. Their choices, their losses are theirs to bear. Mine is to move forward. I took a deep breath, feeling the tension dissolve. My office no longer felt like a battlefield. It felt like a place of new beginnings. Sarah squeezed my hand lightly. Ready to go grab dinner? Yes, I said, smiling. Ready to start something real. For the first time in a long time, I felt whole. I had survived betrayal, witnessed karma, and discovered that true strength wasn't in vengeance. It was in self-respect, forgiveness, and moving forward. The past was behind me. The future was ours to build. I sat at my desk, staring out the window as the city lights flickered below. It had been years since Emily left, years since Mark's arrogance blinded him, years since I felt powerless. You've been quiet, Sarah said softly, placing a hand on my shoulder. I'm thinking, I admitted, about everything, about the journey, how it all started, how I lost everything, and then found something stronger. She smiled. And what have you found? Self-respect, I said quietly. Patience. The ability to stand on my own without needing anyone to validate me. I've learned that revenge isn't the reward, it's the growth. And I've grown, Sarah. You've certainly grown, she said. I've seen it. You're different, stronger, wiser. I chuckled lightly. Wiser, maybe. Not perfect. But I finally understand that the past doesn't define me. Betrayal doesn't define me. Even heartbreak doesn't define me. I'm glad you realize that, she said, squeezing my hand. And I'm glad I get to be part of your present, your future. I looked at her, feeling warmth spread through me. You've shown me what genuine connection feels like. No manipulation, no games, just honesty. That's something I didn't have for years. Sarah tilted her head. And now you do. Yes, I said, nodding. And it feels right. Peaceful. I can finally breathe without the weight of past betrayals pressing on me. I thought of Mark, demoted, humiliated, isolated. His pride shattered by his own arrogance and my patient strategy. And Emily, forced to confront her choices, her manipulations exposed. I felt no joy in their suffering, only clarity. Justice had taken its natural course, and I had survived it with my integrity intact. I never thought I'd get here, I murmured. After everything, I thought anger and resentment would define me forever. But they didn't, Sarah said. You chose differently. That's what matters. I did, I said. It wasn't easy. There were moments when I wanted to lash out, to punish. But I realized the real power isn't in hurting others. It's in rising above, controlling your own emotions, forgiving yourself before forgiving anyone else. She nodded thoughtfully. And you've done that. You're free now. I am, I said. And I feel ready to build something real, something lasting, something honest. She smiled warmly. Then let's start building it together. I laughed lightly, feeling lighter than I had in years. Together, I echoed. The word felt strange at first, then comforting, hopeful. My phone buzzed. Another update from work, minor complaint from coworkers, but I didn't feel tension. I handled it calmly, confidently. I had grown beyond panic, beyond fear. I had grown into patience, into strategy, into clarity. You've come a long way, Sarah said quietly, watching me handle the messages. I have, I admitted, and I've realized something else. Life isn't about revenge or closure or proving anything to anyone else. It's about self-respect, about trust, about being present for the right people, about letting go of what doesn't serve you and embracing what does. She reached across the desk, taking my hand. And I'm here, present, real. I looked at her, feeling a swell of gratitude. Then I'll treasure it, I said, because I know what it feels like to lose trust, to lose faith in people, to lose myself. I won't let that happen again. We sat together in silence for a moment, the world outside moving, but somehow quieter, calmer. I felt whole, strong, alive. The past, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the schemes, the games was behind me. Karma had played its part. Justice had unfolded. And now, the story belonged to me, to the life I chose, to the future I would build. I'm ready, I whispered, more to myself than anyone else. Ready to live, ready to love, ready to move on. Sarah smiled, leaning closer. Then let's do it. Together. I nodded, letting the weight lift completely. Finally, I felt free, confident, and unshakably me.